Today we're visiting North Korea. Well, as close as you can actually get. If you're visiting Seoul, you can do a day trip to the DMZ, Demilitarized Zone, to see across the border into North Korea. And yes, it's as surreal as it sounds. Our day started with an hour drive to the Peace Memorial Park. This is a place of remembrance for the tragic events that came from the conflict between North and South Korea. When the ceasefire happened and the border was drawn, hundreds of families were separated by one of the most heavily militarized borders in the world. As there's essentially no way for separated families in North and South Korea to contact each other, many never saw or spoke to their relatives again. It's such a harrowing thought that simply because of where you lived, you could lose contact with your family forever. We then entered the restricted military area near the DMZ itself. We had strict instructions not to film any military personnel, but soldiers came onto the bus to check our passports. I genuinely couldn't believe how young some of them looked. Our second stop was one of the invasion tunnels built by North Korea after the ceasefire. The idea was to secretly tunnel underneath the border and potentially move troops towards Seoul. Thankfully, the tunnels were discovered before that could happen, and today you can actually go down into them yourself. No filming was allowed, but you're essentially bent over walking through a cold, wet tunnel underground for around 15 minutes. It honestly felt surreal. We then finally got a glimpse into North Korea from the observation deck. Again, no videos were allowed, but our guide shares some photos with us afterwards. Although it's fascinating seeing into one of the most secretive countries in the world, it's also important to remember the reality of life there and the difficult history between the two countries. Through the binoculars, we did actually spot two North Korean soldiers casually having a cigarette. Finally, we stopped to the northernmost village in South Korea for a short souvenir break, where I somehow ended up buying snail face cream before heading back to Seoul. A very heavy and incredibly important day. If you're visiting Seoul, we'd highly recommend visiting the DMZ. Our trip was included as part of our intro travel tour group we're currently on for the next 22 days. Follow along to see what we get up to tomorrow.